My name is Paul. You can also call me Mr. Unusual. Right now, I'm going to be explaining what I title the genesis of man. You should know that every man you have out there has a genesis. Even you listening to me, you have a genesis. But the problem is, most of us do not understand our genesis. And believe you me, 75% of the problems we have out there today is as a result of men not understanding their genesis. So I just want you to understand that to every life, there's a genesis. I'm going to help you understand what I mean by the genesis of man by using 6 words. The first word being darkness, the second word separation, the third word settlement, the fourth word growth, the fifth word assignment, and the last word, which is fruitfulness. Now I'm going to start with the first word, which is darkness. Darkness means ignorance. Now we'll explain this using the word of God. If you remember vividly, in Genesis 1 verse 1, which says, "In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, and the earth was formless and empty, and darkness covered the face of the deep waters." Now I ask you a question. At this point, why was the earth formless and empty? Now it was simply because the earth at this point was covered with water and also in darkness. So it simply means that anywhere we have darkness or anything that is covered in darkness will surely be formless and also what? Empty. So it means darkness represents what? Emptiness. Alright, so likewise, when man was created, man was formless and it was empty. Now, it was formless in the sense that he lacked the knowledge of what his purpose was. He was actually ignorant of his purpose. And because he was ignorant of his purpose, he had no drive. Of course, he wasn't going to have drive when he doesn't even know what his purpose was. So at this point, it was said to be formless and empty. Why? Because it was covered in ignorance. And do not forget that the word ignorance represents what? Darkness. Now, you might also want to consider other definition of darkness. Darkness, according to the dictionary meaning, also means the state of gloom, the state of obscurity. Now, the state of obscurity, in the sense that state of uncertainty, that state where you do not understand your purpose, you do not understand the whereabouts around your life. So you understand what I'm trying to say? That darkness actually means what? The state of gloom. Because at this point in time, at this stage of man's life, man do not understand anything concerning his purpose. Whether he had an assignment or not, whether there was a direction for him or not, whether there was a path for him or not, it does not really understand any of this. Why? Because he was in darkness at this point in time of his life. Now, you agree with me that for darkness to vanish, the only thing that can be introduced is what? Light. That was the reason why God said, "Let there be light." Because he understands that the only thing that can actually make darkness vanish was light. So he said, "Let there be light," and there was light. That was exactly what God said to man. Let there be light. And immediately he said, "Let there be light," there was light. Now, man was able to fathom and discern his future. He was able to understand his purpose. He could see, he had the vision of what his purpose was. And that was it. Darkness was gone. But the problem is nowadays, you see a lot of men still in darkness. Of course, you understand the kind of darkness I'm talking about. A lot of them out there are still in darkness, meaning they lost the light that was given to them a billion years ago by their source. And now you see them doing what is not meant for them. You see them rigmaroling around life. You see them gallivanting. Why? Because they've lost something that is so dear to them. Alright, you need to understand that at a point in your life you are in darkness. Now, if you have the light, it means darkness was taken off you and light was given to you. And that is the reason why you can boldly stand and tell somebody you're in purpose. You're working purpose, your purpose out. But a lot of men out there are out of purpose. They are out of purpose. You see a lot of men out there working under people, and whereas they are meant to have their own fame, they are meant to have their own brands, they are meant to have their own companies, and yet they are working under people. Why? Because they lost something, and that thing they lost was their light. Now I'm going to make you understand that emptiness comes from the lack of the knowledge of what your form truly is. Meaning that you're empty because you're formless. You're empty because you're what? You're formless. A lot of men out there today are empty because they are formless. Now I ask you a question. How do you face life knowing so well you're empty? How do you tell your story when you are out of purpose? The question is, the answer is, it is impossible. You can't tell your story. What kind of story do you want to tell? When all your life you've been outside purpose. And also, you begin to do what is not meant for you when you have not found purpose. My dear, if you're not in purpose, for the rest of your life, you will continue to do what is not meant for you because your own purpose is lost. And remember, anything that is lost can be found. Now, how do you excel doing what is not meant for you? How do you make success doing what is not meant for you? Of course, you know what the answer is. And let me make you understand that you will always follow people all your life without owning your brand if you don't find your light. Tell somebody, find your light. You need to find your light. And you know that for you to be able to find your light, you have to meet the source of the light. And the source of the light is God. So for you to be able to create your niche in life, for you to be able to own your brand in life, find your purpose in life, you need to find your light. Alright, at this point I'm going to stop, and every other words I've mentioned earlier on, aside from darkness, I'm going to talk about them in my next video. So what I want you to do is subscribe to my channel and also click on the notification for you to get notified whenever I upload likely videos. And please like, share. May God bless you. Peace.